talking to myself the whole time. It was Agatha all along. Sorry. There it is. Yay! Wait, it just showed I was live. What the freak? There we go. Showing I'm live now. Awesome. Awesome sauce. Alrighty. We're gonna get started. Yeah, you can see the Streamlabs logo and all of that because I'm not using the Prime version. I'm using the free version. I do got me some water. Lots of water. All up in here. I'm sorry about the fan noise. I have to have the fan on. Not just for me, but for Daisy. I reside at my... Well, okay. So, I reside at my aunt's house, but I live in my van base. Like, kind of. Like, it's like my bedroom. Like, I go inside during the daytime, and then I come out at nighttime, or if I want to go out, I can come out to the van and just chillax. So we're gonna start this. We're gonna start from John Egbert. It's been a long time coming. You click to the last page of the Homestuck epilogues. You read it, then you read it again. You scroll down to go to the next section and find nothing. The little blue arrow you crave is nowhere to be found. Speaking of Homestuck epilogues, I actually now have the physical book, and I'm waiting on one more book of the Homestuck series, and then I have it all. I'm waiting on volume 2 of the paperback books that was originally printed by Top Kato or something like that. But I finally got those. Yay, birthday gifts. Anyway, so you click to the last page of the Homestuck epilogues. You read it, then you read it again. You scroll down to go to the next section and find nothing. The little blue arrow you crave is nowhere to be found. What the fuck? Are you serious? What kind of ending was that? Absolutely nothing got resolved. You stand up so fast your chair falls over. Jesus Christ, you are steamed. Maybe eventually, with further thought, you'll come to appreciate the thematic elements and contributions to narrative convention, but as of right now, you need to understand what happened to Dead John. What about Rose and Kanaya and their marriage? What about Terezi and Briscoe? Hi, Daisy Cutie! I love you! Hi, baby! Yeah! Oh, pets! God, you have to have words with someone. Stomping out of the little computer room, you blink a few times, trying to readjust to the dim parlor after staring at a screen for so long. Hold up, I'm gonna adjust this. There we go. Hi, baby. There we go. Doc Scratch, where's that creepy brown motherfucker? You sure got his number now. You know all about how he ruined the lives of 8 human kids and 12 trolls after he played everybody, including you. The very least he owes you is a satisfying conclusion to this story. You march confidently down the hall in the direction of a sudden ruckus. Turning in the corner, you see 2 figures. One is definitely Doc Scratch. The other is a dark silhouette in a fashionable hat and coat. While you watch, the latter begins to hit the former with a cane. Oh, god damn it. You know what's happening. You know some lore. You need to get out of here before this place goes up in flames. Survive now. Yell about unsatisfactory narratives later. With that in mind, you leave behind this ridiculous altercation, trampling on a pile of notes and photographs underfoot as you make a run for the fenestered wall. See ya, suckers. You sail through feet first, bracing for the smell of overturned earth and the sight of the twin Alternian moons. Man, it's going to be good to see your friends again, especially now that you're armed with all of this canon knowledge. Hi, Daisy. Hi, my stream buddy. But what surrounds you is not Poser's corpse field. It's a whole lot of nothing. You're lost between the worlds or something. Are you lost between the worlds or something? I'm sorry. English. Wait, no. You see a glimmer in the distance. A bright white light swallowing down the surge of panic. You move toward it. Oh, shit. You wonder if you could just sort of... Okay, well, you did that. A barrage of images hits you, broken, chaotic flashes, too fractured to make sense of. You just stuck your hand in the most powerful item in the whole of this narrative, and your body is not taking it very well. Bright, sizzling pain hits the nerve center of your brain and radiates out of your extremities. Wow, you are a moron. You aren't a comic character. You aren't meant for this sort of metatextual energy. It hurts, it burns, it unravels you from the inside out, and then everything goes white. An exception has occurred. Oops, I broke it. What a lovely morning. The air is fresh and crisp. It's early spring, probably. You find yourself on the sidewalk in a suburban neighborhood. Facing a neat, friendly house, a neat, friendly boy stands at the window on the second floor, looking down at you. At least you hope he's friendly. Man, you would really love to be his friend. At first you think the boy is looking at you, but instead he appears to be looking at the mailbox, which is stuffed so full that the door is half open. Looks like someone crammed a whole box in here. Hopefully you pull it out along with a couple of coupons and envelopes stamped with a green symbol. You go to give the boy a thumbs up, but he is no longer at the window. Memory prickles at the corner of your awareness. You feel like you've maybe done this before. While you're standing there ruminating, a car pulls up. The driver is wearing a hat and a suit and is probably the owner of this hat and the father of that friendly boy. Oh shit, you're just standing out here with all his mail. He's going to think you're trying to rob the place. Hide the evidence. Quick, as you can, you turn around and dump everything in the sewer. Whatever, it was probably all garbage anyways. Who even uses their mailbox these days? The friendly and fatherly figure parks his car, climbs out, and tips his hat at you. Then he walks into the house, not sensing a single thing amiss. The perfect crime. Oh, but here comes the boy out the front door. God, you hope he wasn't coming down for the mail. A residential boy appears. Wait a minute, this is not the same boy you saw peeking through the window. It possibly is not a boy at all. It appears to be a mysterious gentleman. You wonder what business this fine, upstanding neighborhood gentleman would have for you. Hey! I saw you standing out here messing with the mailbox. I figured you might be the mailman? Even though you're not wearing a mailman outfit. Oh, yeah, that's you. You're definitely the mailman. Your outfit is, it's in the laundry today? You're just wearing your mailman hoodie instead. See the symbol? It's the symbol of, mail. Nothing stops the mail. That's great. I guess it is true. After all, the mailmen are completely relentless in their quest to deliver people's mail. You guys are incredible. Speaking of mail, do you know if I got any today? What? No. What red package? You haven't seen anything like that. No bills, junk mail, nothing at all. The mailbox is empty when you looked inside. Well, I didn't say anything about a red package. Should I be expecting one? Come to think of it, it is my birthday, so getting a package in the mail would make sense. And if it's red, that probably means it's from Dave. He loves red because I guess it's cool. Oh man, I wonder what he got me. Nothing. He got you nothing, you say. Isn't he listening? This Dave fellow probably forgot his birthday due to being a bad friend, and that's why there's no package, read or otherwise. What? Oh, just kidding. You say you're sure Dave is a great friend who cares about this kid a lot. His president is probably just late and definitely not slowly sinking in a subterranean river of shit right now. It's not what? That's a strange thing to say. Are you sure you don't know more about Dave's present than you're telling me? No, you say absolutely not. Actually, he should forget that what you said about the present being late. He should not be expecting a red package, not now or ever. He should trust you because all mailmen know everything about the mail. Dang, so nothing else? Huh? Yeah, you said the mailbox was empty. I don't think I understand. Isn't that how it always is when you deliver mail? I mean, you're the guy who's supposed to put stuff in there. Yeah, that's right. You're the mailman, the absolute authority over all mail, which means your word must be accepted. Damn it. You double-checked and everything. You looked through thoroughly. Wait. Yeah, that's right. You're the mailman, the absolute authority over all mail, which means your word must be accepted without question. When it comes to the mail, he didn't get any today. You double-checked and everything. You looked thoroughly through your mailbag for anything with the kid's name on it and came up empty. Sorry, dude. You have a mailbag? Where is it? It fell in the sewer. Oh, that old thing. You accidentally dropped it in the sewer before the boy came outside. Oh no! That sucks! Of course it sucks, John. All that mail ruined. Maybe I can help you fish it out? No, you mean that's fine. Thanks for offering. Fine, young Samaritan. But, the government will handle this. There's, like, insurance and such for sewer-related postal mishaps. Oh yeah, that makes sense. But what if you missed something in there for me, like a game envelope or such? Are you totally sure you didn't miss anything? Yes, you are sure. You triple-checked and didn't see his name on anything. Besides, it's really rank down there. You're very sewery. All the mail has been befouled beyond hope of salvaging. It's best not to bother even peeking inside. So, you're probably right, but hey, how do you know there wasn't any mail for me if you don't know my name? Wait, oh god damn it. Huh? Oh, you mean, of course you know his name. Mailmen are sort of like Santa Claus. They know all the names of all good little boys on their delivery routes. That sounds suspicious. Wait, okay, that sounded creepy. You really regret phrasing it like that. It was so completely unnecessary. You just know a lot of stuff as an important government official with lots of bureaucratic lists and such. For instance, the name of this young man is You Smell Poop Lord. Dang! Why do you always paint yourself into corners like this? All you were trying to do is make a new friend, and you somehow managed to bullshit your way through the absolute most challenging version of this conversation possible. Okay, you can do this. This young man's name is You Smell Poop Lord. Wow, it really could be anything. He might as well have been given a random ass name this very day. Shortly before you arrived, for all you know, you'll just have to go with your gut and feel it out. A new friendship is on the line. His name is Wait, no, he's making a bad face. You're on the wrong track. Oh, he's perking up. This is good. Nope, bad face again. It's not Jimmy or Jilliam. That's not even a name anyway. Yes, he likes that. Jamboree. Shit, he looks disgusted. Abort, Jamboree. You really can be quite the fucking idiot sometimes. Jonderson. Wait. He looked pleased for a minute. Then it looked like he just sucked on a lemon. Jesus Christ, you're bad at this. You were close to there. Jonder? Hi! Jillian! Hello, welcome, Page of Rage. How are you tonight, this fine evening? Pre-413. I gotta listen to this, Steve. Fuck. Jesus Christ, you're bad at this. You were close there. Jonderbilt? Yikes, no, you got it. It's just John, of course. You don't know what you were even thinking. Yes, you do. Those were just goofs. You explained to John. Mailmen love goofs. I'm glad you're doing pretty well. I'm playing Pesterquest. I'm starting from the beginning. Cause, yeah. Hi, Daisy Doo. You're peeking out at me. Can I put you in a little Casey outfit and you can be a little yellow salamander that spit bubbles at me? His name is John, you say confidently, as if you had it in the bag all along. Not your non-existent mail bag, which you told him you dropped in the sewer. Your real bag, where the good shit is, such as your incredible ability to guess someone's name in 5 or 6 tries. That's right! Wow, I guess it's true then. Mailmen really do know practically everything. You smile. Bless you, Daisy Doo. You smile. Finally, it feels like this friendship may be starting to click. It was rocky there for a while, as you had to spin an intricate, nearly flawless web of lies to smooth over the fact that you destroyed his cherished personal property. But you're pretty sure you're in the clear now, and you'll never have to justify yourself to him again. Well, as nice as it is to meet you, Mr. Mailman, to be honest, this kind of sucks. I've been waiting for a really cool game to arrive in the mail, but it's been a few days already, and now I'm starting to think it's got lost in the mail. It might just never come now, and I'm kind of bummed out about it. I had some hope it would show up on my birthday as like a present from nobody, really. Just a present out of the thin air, I guess, like it was going to be destiny or something. Oh well, I guess magic really is as fake as all the scientists say it is. You nod along very wisely. Oh yes, you say you can kiss that game goodbye. It definitely got lost in the mail and it is never ever going to be delivered. The Postmaster General just told you a few seconds ago. Through your wireless earpiece, which is hooked up to the U.S. parcel mainframe? You tell John he is right to disbelieve in magic. It's fake as shit. It's time for him to get used to the idea that he will never play this game, whatever it was. It was probably stupid anyway. Most games are. You should try to get used to whatever kind of life he was going to live from now on in the absence of this dumb video game. Yeah, you're right. I think I got too worked up about it. It probably does suck, actually. I think Game Bro only gave it like 2 hats out of 5 hats. Hi, Daisy Belly! Hi, Daisy Belly! It's so soft. I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. I gotta get a sip of water. You're a good girl. Okay. It might have even been less than that, actually. God, what a piece of shit it probably was. You know, I think I have to thank you, Mr. Mailman. You really opened my eyes today. I'm going to forget I ever heard of that dumb game and just try to enjoy my life. Talk to my friends, hang out in my room, and I don't know. Come to think of it, maybe I was looking forward to playing the game with my friends so much because I'm lonely? I'm just a little embarrassed to admit I don't actually have any real-life friends. Oh, this is it. This is your in. This nice boy seems to be jonesing for friendship just as much as you are. And you've laid all the groundwork for becoming his best bro so expertly. You just need to slide right into his life with just a few more sympathetic remarks. You actually have a lot of experience with this by now. You made so many friends in so many strange places and with such mixed results. Or you think you did. Actually, you can't conjure up any of their names or faces right now. It probably isn't important. Actually, let's never speak of that again. What matters most is that you're here now making a sweet new pal named John. You casually mention that this is the end of your mail route and you don't have much else going on in your life. Maybe you and he can hang out for a while if he doesn't mind, that is. You want to hang out with me? Like, just a mailman and a 13-year-old boy just being buddies? You shrug a little as if you don't care much, but you really, really care. Well, normally I would say that sounds a little strange and maybe slightly inappropriate. But what do I know? You're gonna die. You're gonna die tonight. If you were a normal looking mailman, that would probably be a shitty idea and I'll get in trouble with my dad or the authorities or something. And probably so would you. But you seem different, like maybe you aren't even a person. Just a kind of weird, harmless looking guy, like an alien, but not really. You don't really know what to say to any of this. Oh man, I'm being so fucking rude. I'm sorry. Yeah, of course we can hang out. But maybe we should keep this sort of a secret from my dad. I don't know if he would approve of me bringing a stranger into the house, even if you are very nice and sincerely concerned about my mail problems. That sounds fine with you now that you think about it. You still aren't sure his dad didn't see you dumping all their mail in the sewer. He probably didn't, otherwise he would have some words with you, surely. But still, it's a risk you shouldn't be taking under these delicate circumstances. There's a friendship on the line. Okay, I'm glad you agree. It sounds like we have a sneaking mission ahead of us. Actually, it sounds like it could be fun. Oh, yeah, it does sound fun, except maybe slightly triggering since you've done a lot of dangerous high-stakes sneaking in the past that you can't quite remember, but still fun, mostly fun. You can't wait, yeah. So, how should we do this? We can either sneak upstairs to my bedroom while avoiding my dad and just hang out up there for a while. Or if that sounds too risky, we could just stay outside. I've got some sweet playground equipment in the backyard. What will it be? Should we go inside or playground? Okay, we're gonna go playground equipment. Actually, you tell John you think the fresh air out here will do you some good. Also, the playground equipment he mentioned really sweetens the pot. You hope he doesn't mind. After all, as a mailman, you are meant to be outdoors. You took a mailman's oath and everything. Oh yeah, John will probably believe that. Sure, no problem. I totally understand. It gets really stuffy in there, especially with all the baking my dad does. We can hang out in my yard. Feels like it's been ages since I took a spin on the old pogo ride. Pogo ride, he says. Well, that just seals the deal. You bow flamboyantly and gesture for him to lead the way, but you quickly regret doing that because it was a little much. Well, here it is, my backyard in all its glory. I hardly ever come out here anymore, honestly. There's the old trusty swing set. Oh, it brings back some good memories. And then there's the pogo ride. I didn't realize John was actually wearing a belt. You better hop on before I beat you to it. Yeah, just kidding. That thing is a death trap. You should really go, nowhere near that thing unless you like dying. Obviously, to the humorous nature of his remark, you shake your head solemnly. Oh no. You say you're pretty sure dying sucks and you never want to do it again. Sorry, I'm just posting on my social medias real quick. Okay. Huh? That's a weird thing to say. Are you saying you've died before, or is this some sort of weird mailman joke? Oh, yeah, you mailman like to joke around a lot, sometimes very darkly. It gets very stressful delivering the mail sometimes, and sometimes you just need to blow off some steam by making light of your mortality, and it doesn't seem like this is going over well. To be fair, it is one of your worst explanations so far, and that's really saying something. You start to falter and lose composure. You don't seem to have it in you to follow through with the lie. You stop talking and hang your head. Hey, what's wrong? You decide to tell him the truth. Yes, you've been dead before, possibly a bunch of times. You're not sure, actually. You can't remember any of the circumstances surrounding your deaths, and you aren't even sure who you are. Frankly, you're a little confused by your own existence sometimes. Oh no! Well, I'd be lying if I said that wasn't a little hard to believe, but I'll listen to what you have to say anyway, because that's what friends are for. How did that happen? Oh, well, you cast your mind back as hard as you can. You really give it a good hard think. You remember a room and a computer screen and just this really intense feeling of frustration. A computer screen? I don't. I mean, I get being very frustrated at your computer screen. I do that every day. Yeah, he gets it. It's written all over his face. This is a boy who feels your pain. He's following you perfectly. I'm not really following. Then you explained how you ended up in the afterlife. Afterlife? You were pretty sure it was the afterlife. Maybe heaven. It was a little too freaky for heaven. But you were alone. Then you found a mysterious artifact on the ground? You found a mysterious artifact in hell? Yes, it was white and flat and lying on the ground, as if it was just waiting for you, or waiting for someone else, maybe, but you found it first by accident. You find it hard to believe you were destined for any cursed treasure such as this. Perhaps the artifact belonged to Lucifer himself. Lucifer? Wow. Oh, you didn't realize you said that the Lucifer thing out loud? Maybe you should consider reeling this in a bit. You're beginning to wonder if you're coming off as a little unhinged here. Except John is clearly transfixed by your story and looking a little concerned. You guess there's no going back now. You've committed yourself to the truth, as insane as it sounds. Oh shit. So you saw something weird. It looks like a little house. The obvious thing to do was stick your hand inside the house, so that's what you did. Then you felt funny and teleported out of hell. That's how you ended up here on Earth. Where you then became a mailman and decided to have a long and rewarding career of delivering the mail. And then you met John, and now you're basically best friends. The end. That all sounds pretty fucked up. Yes, it is, doesn't it? You're right back to feeling like a crazy person again. He probably doesn't believe you. It seems like you're going to have to take this even further, a risk eroding the foundation of trust this blossoming friendship is built on. You mentioned that you're sure the devil's treasure gave you some magic powers. Magic powers? Like what? You're not sure. You can sort of teleport now. Also, you're pretty sure you could time travel. You haven't tested it out much, you admit. Teleportation and time travel, huh? That's a lot. You could prove it, you'd say desperately. Suddenly, it feels like this friendship is hanging by a thread, and you'll do anything to preserve it. It's time to bring out the big guns. The revelation to this boy that, contrary to all known scientific wisdom, magic is far from fake. It is real as shit. For instance, you remind him that you both almost went up to his bedroom but decided not to because the track across the house would be too risky. But what if you could just teleport there? Sounds like a handy trick. I'm still guessing this is all bullshit though, like a prank. That's okay though. I love pranks. But it's not a prank. At least you think. You've never actually tested this power at all. God, you hope you don't end up making a fool of yourself. Everything is riding on this. Hey, what are you? Here goes nothing. Zap. Whoa, it worked. Unbelievable. Do you know what this means, Mr. Mailman? You shake your head. It means magic is fucking real. You shrug. You guess it is. You wouldn't admit it, but all you really care about right now is the fact that you saved the friendship. It should be all smooth sailing from here. Well, it's a pretty good thing I met you, because if you didn't show up, I'm pretty sure that nothing anywhere close to being this incredible would ever have happened to me. You consider that remark for a moment and decide you absolutely agree. You are definitely the best and most exciting thing that will ever happen to this kid. You also said something about time travel. Can we try that too, or would that be too disruptive to the space-time continuum? You have him eating out of the palm of your hand. No need to slow this train down. Continuum schminium. Whatever your new friend wants he gets. What you doing over there, baby? Hi, Daisy Doo. Oh, I know. Why don't we just go back in time about a week? And we can stay right here. That way we won't risk messing up anything important. Sure, that makes sense. You get ready to use your new hell power and concentrate as hard as you can on the idea of 1 week ago. It's probably how it works. Yep. Not much changed. Except, wait, the cakes are gone! That must mean it isn't my birthday yet, which means it worked. This is 1 week ago. Wow. Oh, for fuck's sake. I forgot. Of course, there was going to be a past me in the room a week ago. God, I'm such an idiot. This is going to fuck things up, isn't it? What the hell is going on here? Whatever it is, it seems really stupid. You're right, John. It is stupid. Sorry, I wasn't using my head. Don't worry, we'll get out of your hair. Hey, quick, let's step out to the yard so we fuck up space-time as little as possible. Peace. Whew. Well, that was dumb. Maybe let's try to avoid abusing your time travel powers from now on. It could really lead to a lot of messy bullshit. You wholeheartedly agree. All you really want to do is make friends, not clown around through space-time. Meanwhile, I guess we're still a week in the past, but now just standing in my yard doing nothing. This seems pointless. Maybe we should probably head back to the present. You nod. It was an interesting experiment, and it brought you a lot of credibility, but it's time to... Wait a minute. Something's wrong. There's a slight buzzing in the air. You can feel it. What's the matter? You tell him you think someone is coming. Quick, you have to hide. Whoa, okay. You and John dash into a neighbor's yard and hide behind the fence. You peek into the backyard to see what's happening. Suddenly you see it. That energy you were feeling was a whole group of teenagers randomly teleporting into John's backyard. What the fuck? You examine them more closely, and they're all dressed in ridiculously colorful outfits. Is the circus in town? There did seem to be a lot of clowns in John's house. And maybe this house is some kind of globally recognized headquarters for traveling clowns? But they're not really clowns, just teens wearing strange pajama-looking clothes, 8 of them to be precise. On closer inspection, one of them seems familiar. The guy in the blue pajamas, you think it's your new friend John? But he seems older. Definitely not a 13-year-old kid like your buddy here. None of them are. They all appear to settle in for a while to talk amongst themselves. The guy in the yellow Speedo gets down to business on the pogo ride, totally oblivious to its dangers. There seems to be a serious atmosphere hanging over this group of teens. Important discussions are happening. It's completely baffling to you, and by the look of your buddy's face, to John as well. Suddenly, an uneasy feeling settles over you, like you're witnessing something that was never meant to be seen by anyone. Perhaps a rendezvous point established by this group of teens for exactly that reason. That no one would think of to be watching this quiet suburban backyard right now. Should you stay and listen or go? You're not sure what to do. You can't shake the feeling that something highly inappropriate is happening here. Just by watching, like you're beholding a moment so divorced from an authoritative chain of events that to even witness this moment is not only narratively compromising but extremely cursed. Hey, is that guy in the blue pajamas me? You pat John on the back. You can only imagine what's going through his head right now. He hasn't seen a time travel duplicate of himself in, well, minutes. Man, I look so much older. What am I even wearing, and how are all these people? Wait, I know some of them. And that's Rose and Dave and Jade with dog ears. I don't know the others though. Wait, I know what's going on. They must be from the future. It is the only explanation, especially since we just did some time travel ourselves, thus proving magic to be real. Did you have something to do with this, Mr. Mailman? You shake your head. You are just as surprised by this nonsense as he is. It seems one or more people from this group have somehow obtained similar abilities offered by the hell treasure you touched. I guess they are all from a few years in the future. Then, when we are all a bunch of older, cooler teenagers. Maybe we all go to college together or something? Maybe that's where we make these 4 new friends. There's something familiar about all of them, but I can't put my finger on it. But why do we look so ridiculous? Did I join a trope of traveling street performers, thus following in the footsteps of my father? And somehow managed to rope everyone into the act, including Dave and Rose, who almost certainly would think the idea was really stupid, even though it's a clearly great and cool, while somehow also involving time travel? I don't know. I'm so confused. What are they even doing here? Did this really happen outside my house 1 week ago without me knowing about it at all? What else have I been missing? How much more is there to know about the future adventures of me and my friends, which has been taking place in secret like this? I wonder if there is a lot more to my life than I ever could have imagined. Actually, I should probably be thanking you. If you hadn't told me my game got lost in the mail, I might have gotten way too hung up on it. That might have totally altered the trajectory of my life. Then I wouldn't get to go on whatever sweet adventures happen in the future that will lead me to wear a bunch of silly pajamas and apparently speak with great authority in front of a group of very cool teens. You bow your head contemplatively, as if to say, you're welcome for your entire life and every cool thing that ever happens to you from now on. After some time passes, the group of teens seem to finish up whatever business they had in this yard and disappear into thin air. You guess that's the end of whatever that was. Since there isn't much point in staying here a week in the past, you decide to return John to the present moment. Well, that was interesting. We were a little too far away to hear what they were saying. I think I kept overhearing the word English. I wonder if some of those teens speak a foreign language? Was I teaching them English? Phew, this sure is some shitty speculation. It makes no sense at all. I guess the only thing to do is wait until I become that John and find out for myself. Sounds exciting, but a little overwhelming. Damn, I'm going to need to think about this. You watch as John spaces out for a solid minute, thinking about his absurd future. You glance toward the swing set, wondering if the fun times John had planned for you are going to continue to recede further into the distance as he comes to grips with his mysterious destiny. You cough a little to snap him out of his stupor. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Mailman. I know I said we could do something fun, but now I think I'm in kind of an existential mood. I should take a walk and think about what just happened today. I feel weird. It's nothing personal and just needs some space. We'll see you. Vague existential crisis. Play cool. Not wanting to behave like a complete buffoon and draw attention to yourself, you hide all the mail stuff behind your back. There's a bunch of envelopes though, and the box is bulky, so all of it slithers from your grasp like a bunch of dead snakes. The distinguished man in his flawless suit looks at you from across the yard. You can't see his eyes under the brim of his hat, but you are absolutely sure he is giving you a look of intense fatherly disapproval. A bolt of shame goes through you. Wow, this guy is good. He's not even your dad, and you're just losing it under his disapproval. You expect him to start shouting or calling the cops. You are so obviously stealing his mail, but instead he just keeps looking at you. Does he know you? Is he someone you should remember, or is it just the platonic ideal of deadliness that crosses time and space? Eternal in all iterations of reality. That sounds like some bullshit, though. Slowly, the distinguished man shakes his head. He goes inside. You can't quite put your finger on why, but you know you have been summarily dismissed. Stirred fatherly disapproval. Hide the evidence. Let's go inside. When you enter the house, an overwhelming odor of freshly baked cakes hits you like a punch in the face. Wow, there's also a lot of clown bullshit in this living room. Clown statues, and you don't have time to take it all in because your buddy John is grabbing your hand and rushing you upstairs before his baking maniac of a father can emerge from the kitchen, catching you in the act. He slams the bedroom door behind you and breathes a sigh of relief. Phew! Hard to catch a moment of peace around here. What with all this adoring fatherly doting around the clock cake production. I feel like I'm suffocating around here, and it's not just because the thick aroma of Betty Crocker products makes me feel like I'm being gassed in a bakery. You're not sure what to say. You tentatively lift your arm as if you're about to place it on his shoulder, but you hesitate. Is this an abusive domestic situation? You don't know if you have enough information to make that judgment yet, but you are concerned. Just joking around. I love my dad. He's great. Sorry, I didn't mean to give you the wrong impression. That's a relief, you guess. Not that you were ready to jump in and do whatever kind of supportive friend, be whatever kind of supportive friend this boy needs. Suddenly you notice a bunch of movie posters on the wall. Oh wow, these are all really bad. You don't dare say such a thing to your new friend, though. You immediately begin lavishing praise on all of them, especially that one which appears to be Mac and me. Oh, for fuck's sake. When it rains, it pours, you guess. Nevertheless, you insist it is one of humanity's best works. Mac and me? You seriously like it? Personally, I think it's a piece of shit. I just have it up there because, well, I don't even know why. Not even I could defend the film. To each his own, I guess. I'm happy to hear you like all the other movies, though. They're all incredible. You have good taste. Except for liking Mac and Me, though. It's complete garbage. Okay, you can admit you got a little overzealous there. Maybe dial it down a notch. You really don't have to try so hard. There is a moment of awkward silence. You hadn't really thought this far ahead, and apparently neither has John. There must be something you both can do. Something you can both do to advance this friendship. He's starting to look self-conscious now. Poor friendless kid really doesn't know how to entertain anyone in his home, does he? You can see how now that your friendship is needed now more than ever, you have to step up. Awesome. I think Mac and Me is about like some weird alien that lands on Earth and then, or was it living in the closet? I don't know. It's like from the 80s, I know that much. So, what do you typically like to, whoa! Suddenly something gets John's attention. It's coming from his computer. Oh, hey, can you hang on a second? My buddy Dave is pestering me. My favorite character! Con Air is bad. I have seen it. It is bad. It's like cheesy bad. John settles behind his desk. Dude, what are you doing? Dave, you'll never guess what I'm doing right now. Are you opening the present I got you? Oh, no, sorry, Dave. I think your present got lost in the mail. Unfortunately, I think it might be gone forever. Oh, shit. John, what the fuck? Maybe you could just send me another whatever it was? Dude, no, the thing I got you was fucking priceless and irreplaceable. If it's lost in the mail, there's literally zero chance you will ever see another one like it ever again in any shape or form. Wow, that sucks. Well, whatever. To be honest, that's probably the fate it deserves. What was it? Never mind, just some more ironic trash from your best and coolest bro in the world. Just forget it. If I tell you, you would probably be sad it's gone, so this is a secret I will take with me to my fucking grave. Do you understand, Egbert? Yeah, that's fair. So, what are you really up to? Are you playing that dumb game with Rose yet? What? Oh no. That got lost in the mail too. It's gone. It's also gone forever. Holy fucking shit, John. I leave you alone for 2 seconds and everything goes to hell. This is why I can't stop pestering you for even a second. You just lose complete control of your life the moment I turn my back. How do you even know it got lost in the mail? Like, how can that even be formally verified in any way? You haven't even been waiting for it that long. What have I done? I've done all the things. Because the mailman told me so. What? Okay. I know I say this almost every day, but that actually is the dumbest thing I have ever fucking heard. It's true, but he was quite sure about it. First of all, John, mailmen don't know shit. They're just guys who walk around handing out letters and stuff. They have zero knowledge of the greater workings of the mail, let alone the specific fate of any given package. Unless there's a tracking number or some shit, but even then, the mailman isn't really the guy who deals with that. The only way a mailman would know for sure if some mail got lost is if he was the one who lost it, or like deliberately fucking destroyed it. Between the game and my sweet present going missing, something smells goddamn fishy here. John, are you sure the mailman didn't just steal all your shit? Of course I am! I don't know, man. He wasn't even holding anything when I talked to him. Not even a mailbag. My alarm bells are going fucking haywire here. It sounds like this incompetent dipshit just lost all your mail and tried to cover his ass. No! Are you sure he didn't fuck it up somehow, like get mail stank on it and in a fit of shame and panic buried it or dunked it in a smelly hole? Dave, this is insane. You're being so paranoid. Besides, aside from the birthday present, why do you even care? You think the game is stupid and you don't even want to play. Yeah, well, I was lying my ass off to sound cool and aloof. Of course I want to play this game. It's like this whole rad thing we were all going to do as friends, and now it's ruined. Oh. You're right. That is a shame. I'm sorry. I don't know. There was just some feeling I had that we needed to play this thing for like destiny reasons or some shit. Sorry to blow my cool cover and start sounding like Jade or whatever, but I'm kind of pissed off now, especially now that I know you won't get your sick bunny. Bunny? Forget I said that. Huh. Well, okay. Anyway, all that aggravating bullshit aside, what were you going to say? Oh, right, I made a new friend. What? A friend? Bullshit. No, it's true. John, this is so unlike you. You don't have fucking friends. None of us do. We're a bunch of total losers. I know that, but today is a different story. I think I might be branching out a little socially. Like turning a corner and becoming a valid and legitimate person while on his way to adulthood. Ugh. Come on, Dave. Why can't you just be happy for me? Fine, so you're hanging out with this person right now? Yes, he's in my room, rummaging through my stuff. He's quite the character. Who is this guy? Please tell me he's not cooler than me. I couldn't handle that. He's not cooler than you. Nobody is, Dave. Okay, thank God. So tell me about him. Well, you know the mailman I was talking about earlier? Yeah, well, you see, it's the mailman. Jesus fucking Christ. What, John? No. What's the big deal? Do I even need to explain why a 13-year-old kid shouldn't be becoming buddies with a fucking mailman and hang out with him in his room? Does your dad know about this? Well, no, but I'm trying to avoid him. He's in one of his baking frenzies. You do realize this is the same guy who likely stole your game and my beautiful present, right? He probably sold them in the black market, or worse, he did something fucked up like flush them down the toilet. He didn't do that, Dave. It would make no sense to do that. You're being crazy. Okay, dude, but you're the one chilling with a random postal worker in your bedroom on your birthday. I'm just looking out for you. What sort of sick fuck would ever want to come in your house? How old is this fucking guy anyway? I don't know. He seems kind of to be sort of ageless. What? Dave, that's the thing. He's barely even a person. He's just a friend. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Listen, I don't expect you to understand. He's just a fun, harmless person who appears to have no particularly defining qualities whatsoever. What is so crazy about that? Nothing, I guess. I don't even know anymore. Fine. Enjoy your new buddy. It is your birthday after all, so you get to call the shots. So what's next on the agenda? What's he even doing now? Well, he seems to be a little bored while I've been talking to you and has spread most of my belongings across my bedroom floor to examine everything, and now he's just messing with my stuff, like my magic stuff. It's pretty cute. I like this guy. John, I'm gonna run something by you. I hope I don't blow your mind or something, or your mind or anything, but what if this guy isn't even a mailman? What? Dave, no, I refuse to accept that. Okay then, genius, tell me this. What is he wearing? He said he has no defining qualities. Well, clothes are defining qualities, so what are they? Okay, he isn't wearing anything but a sweatshirt, but I didn't want to mention that because I knew how it would sound. I see. So, no mail uniform, no mail bag, no, like, fucking mailman hat, just no pants. Yes, but that's not weird or anything. I told you he's like a pet. Shit, that's probably condescending, you know what I mean? Part generic, person-y type guy, and part, like, just a fun, friendly sort of humanoid creature. I'm really not explaining this well. The point is, he said he is a mailman, and I believe him because he's my new friend. End of story. Okay, he's the fucking mailman. I don't even care if you think he's fine, then okay, whatever. So, like, cool, guess we have a new friend. Do I get to meet the mailman sometime or what? That's a good question, I hope so. I wouldn't be surprised if he found his way over to you. I can't put my finger on it, but something tells me he is a well-traveled fellow. You really think he's going to well-travel his ass 2,000 miles away over here to come visit me? You never know, mailmen do get around after all. Shit, that checks out actually. Okay, I'm getting kind of excited now. Yeah, that's what I like to hear. I should probably get going. He's really going at it over there with all my bedroom crap. I don't want to be a rude host. Alright, I'm gonna leave you boys to it. Happy birthday, dude. Thanks, Dave. Victory! Dave! I've done all the things. I think I got all the endings for John. So now we're gonna go to Rose. On the advice of your new friend John, you go to visit one of his closest comrades. Close only figuratively speaking, since it seems she lives all the way on the other side of the country. That's no problem for you though, since your new powers let you hop anywhere, anytime, even to places that don't exist. When you think your powers let you do that, you just have this distinct metatextual feeling that you could pretty much go anywhere at this point. You know that doesn't make any sense. There's nothing that doesn't make sense about friendship, though, and that's exactly what you're about to do. Friendship. That is, you're about to do some friendship by making a new friend. Her name is, you check your notes, Rose. Flighty Broad. Hold up. Sip. Water break. Sip time. Hi, Daisy Doo. This is her house, apparently. Looks... Damn it. I hit the button. This is her house, apparently. Looks kind of weird and modern, and it's situated in the middle of woods for no good reason you could think of. Also, it's pouring rain, which is not what you would describe as ideal friend-making conditions. Still, nothing stops the mailman not from delivering mail nor making friends. Rather famously, rain and other similar weather patterns provide no deterrent to the performance of his duty. And there is no duty more important than friendship. 'Cause friendship is magic! Suddenly, a woodland girl approaches. Who goes there? Oh, it's your new friend Rose. Obviously, there is literally no one else this could be. Why is she so pretty? You introduce yourself. You are the cool mailman who John told her to expect a visit from soon. You would doff your mail hat to signal a friendly greeting, except recently you accidentally dropped it into a sewer along with all your other mail-specific clothes, as well as all the mail you were supposed to deliver, as you explained to her gratuitously in a unconvincing manner. It's not a great start, you admit, but you've done much worse. You're not a mailman. Oh, shit. Yikes, you are busted almost immediately. You briefly considered whether you should double down on the lie and try to say something mailman-like, or whether the right call is to come clean, since she's clearly too smart for this amateur bullshit. But it's taken a few seconds too long for you to decide, which looks guilty as hell. This is it. The jig is up. You slouch in defeat. You ask her if she would please consider not telling John. Your heart couldn't take it if he found out your entire friendship was based on a lie. You want me to keep a secret from one of my best friends to protect the feelings of a random buffoon who I've never met and arbitrarily showed up to my house in the remote wilderness like a creep. Yes. Yes, that's what you want. It's an interesting proposition, if for no other reason than its audacity. I admire your resolve in the face of humiliation. This doesn't mean we're friends, though. Ugh, rough. Well, that's fine. You're hopeful. Your mind is fuzzy, but you think you remember this? You're good at this. You are excellent at making people like you through underhanded means. You can't wait to take advantage of this 13-year-old girl's goodwill. Okay, wow, not like that. Let's not be fucking weird. In fact, let that be the last creepy thought you have for comical purposes. As great jokes only. Let's all get our brains out of the gutter. Rose raises a thin brow. There's something unsettling about her deep violet eyes. You're pretty sure most humans don't have eyes like that. But what the fuck do you know? You're a stranger around these parts. Wait, aren't you a human too? Whatever. That's not a big deal. Not when there are friends to be made. Or something. Do you want to come inside unless I'm interrupting your internal monologue? Of course. Far be it from me to ever cut short any sort of navel-gazing sidebar. It's just ever so slightly wet out here. You would absolutely love that. If it's not too much trouble, of course. You wouldn't want to put Rose out. You're lying, though. You are 100% fine with being absolutely infuriatingly obnoxious if it means making a friend. Rose purses her lips, considering. Your predilections toward mailman mimicry weren't all that John told me about. Oh. He also said that you had certain powers. Powers of teleportation and time travel. I told him that he must be mistaken, since it's a well-known accepted fact that magic, although a popular and highly engaging subject of fiction, is fake as hell. Oh, your zappy powers? No, those are totally real and not fake. Real in a different way than you being a mailman is real, since that is actually made up. Is that so? Prove it. You shrug, easy enough. You hold out your hand, and after a moment of hesitation, Rose puts her fingers in yours. Her nails are long and sharp and painted a glossy black. She closes her eyes and her umbrella droops. Should I picture my room or something similar? I'm not quite sure how this is supposed to work. She still thinks you're fucking with her. You tell her that you guess she could do that if she wants. You zap the two of you inside the big modern house, and when you open your eyes, you find yourself in a large, messy bedroom. Oh. She drops her umbrella. You really did that. Rose stands at the center of her room in full rain gear. Her boots track muddy prints into the thick white carpet. Surprise! You really are magic. Rose puts a small hand against her perfectly painted black lips. She seems momentarily lost for words, and you get the feeling that this is not a thing that happens very often. Her eyes are wide and deeply purple. They're sparkling, you might even say. Hold on, I'll be right back. Stay here, don't go out into the hall. It's not safe. You tell Rose to take her time. You are happy to just stand here dripping onto her nice clean floor. She leaves the room and you take the opportunity to examine your surroundings a little more closely. The bed is unmade, books are strewn all over the floor carelessly, and a collection of half-drunk cups of coffee crowd the desk. Half-finished knitting projects lie in soft piles all over the room. In fact, there's a lot of evidence that this room is often occupied by someone with a lot of interest who has trouble settling down and putting her attention to one thing at a time. Man, you relate, not with interest but with friends. You can't imagine settling for just one. Rose has a number of posters on her walls, although nowhere near as many as your friend John. A calendar hangs beside the window, days ticked off with little X's all the way up to 4/13, which is circled. You step closer to read the year date up in the corner, 2009. If only we could go back to 2009, the time before coronavirus. But what the hell do you care about the date? You can make friends any day of the damn week, rain or shine, night or day. Rose sure is taking a while out there. She told you that it's not safe out in the hall. Maybe she hadn't just been quipping. Maybe she's actually in trouble. What should you do? Stay put, go look for her. We're gonna go look for her. You're too anxious to sit still, and you aren't the sort of person who just sits there and waits for friend opportunities to fall into their lap. Better to run headlong into danger, or as much danger as minimalist upper middle class house in the middle of the woods can offer. Rose had told you that it isn't safe. You creep out into the hallway. There are a bunch of things that happen more or less simultaneously. A deluge of quick-time events that you had no idea were coming. Lightning flashes in a perfect jagged line across the tall window at the end of the hall, followed immediately by a crash of thunder so loud you think the house might be falling down. Abruptly, all the lights go out. Another flash of lightning, and for a just moment you see a long thin figure superimposed against the window. You freak the fuck out, jumping about a foot in the air and yowling like a cat. A small hand lands on your shoulder and you jump again. Calm down, it's just me. Rose speaks in a normal tone of voice, and it's jarring. The house is echoey and cavernous. And there's just something about a dark house on a stormy evening that makes you want to whisper. I told you to stay put for a reason. It's too early for my mother to be sauced enough not to notice random strangers in our house, and I don't want to go through the tedious process of explaining who you are. You have a perfectly understandable reason for why you left, and that reason is that you were lonely. Rose snorts. Cold? You mean you were cold? Well, you are soaking wet. Follow me. She grabs you by the wrist and follows you down the hall. You wonder if you should warn her about the strange wraith-like creature you saw by the window, but you don't want to freak her out. Although her mom might be at risk too. Whatever, moms are tough. She'll be fine. This probably isn't the first time she's gone toe-to-toe with a weird slender man. This house looks haunted as shit. Rose brings you to a dark laundry room, then motions you to take off your hoodie, which you do gladly because it's soaking wet. That's interesting. The design on the front, does it mean anything? Oh yeah, it is kind of cool. A blue line that zigzags on one end like lightning. Looking at it, it makes you feel unsettled. You realize Rose is still waiting for a response, so you just hand her the hoodie and tell her, no, you're pretty sure it's just an abstract sign. And then you stand there while she tosses the sweatshirt in the dryer, feeling the alarming currents of memory in your bloodstream. You're sure there must be something you forgot to do. You continue to feel weird as Rose hits the dryer button and nothing happens. Fuck. She hits the button a few more times as if that will make a bit of difference when the power is out. She presses her thumb and forefinger to the bridge of her nose. Well, you aren't going to fit in anything of mine. She leads you down more long, dark hallways. Man, this house is unreasonably huge. You ask Rose if a lot of people live here. No, it's just me, my mother, and a horde of liquids not soluble in water. Here, try not to drip on the carpet. You aren't sure how you're supposed to manage that, but okay. This room is large and dark, and when Rose parts the curtains, a flash of lightning illuminates a four-poster bed. A large counter and a shelf covered head to foot in bottles. Rose vanishes through another door, leaving you to peruse. This is all liquor. Shit, this is a lot of booze. Here, I'm not sure what you would want to wear, but this should work until the power comes back on and we can dry your clothes. Gummies. That's not the open one. Gummies! Sorry, give me... Rose hands you a long silk robe. One moment, I'm gonna eat some awesome gummies. Let me try. She won't miss this. I don't think she's ever even worn it. She has this closet with all these, she has this whole closet full of fantastic clothes that she never puts on. You take the robe and go into the large master bathroom. It's kind of a mess. The tub looks like it hasn't been cleaned in a long time. Hi, Daisy. No, you can't have any of this. The robe gives you some knotted feeling. The robe gives you the same knotted feeling of familiarity. The robe gives you the same knotted feeling of familiarity that looking at your hoodie did, but you put it on anyways. It's a relief to get out of your wet clothes. You hang them carefully on the shower rod. Hi, baby. When you head back out into the bedroom, you find Rose standing in front of the wall of liquor. She's holding a bottle of Grey Goose and squinting at the label, like she's trying to read the nutrition facts. I often wondered what exactly the merits of consuming this are. It tastes quite literally like burning. She opens the bottle, and before you could protest that she is in by no means the legal drinking age and whatever, and wherever the fuck you are, she puts the bottle to her mouth and takes a sip. She splutters. Blah. That's terrible. You You could have told her that straight vodka isn't for the uninitiated. Even fancy vodka. You take the bottle from her, she hesitates for a moment, then lets it go. I could drink straight vodka and not make a face. You set it back on the shelf. This really is quite an impressive liquor cabinet. Liquor wall, liquor room. Her mom must really have a refined palate, or be an alcoholic. Hi, Daisy, do. And don't strain yourself. You can say it. What's the point of missing words? She's a fucking alcoholic. Well, this is intense. You're not sure if you were prepared for something this heavy. You were we're kind of counting on silly shenanigans, maybe a couple of funny jokes. You aren't cut out for this. You get the feeling that at some point you may have been cut out for this. You might have been the sort of person your friends or potential friends could count on. In fact, you know on some level that this is true, but whenever you try to nail down any sort of specifics, you find a gaping lacuna in your experience. It's all just white noise. Rose's shoulders slump as she stands surveying her mother's bottles. She doesn't even have the decency to hide her distasteful habits. Who needs an entire wall of liquor bottles? She doesn't have people over. She doesn't have any friends. This is all just for me. Just more of her passive-aggressive act as a femme fatale's 1950s housewife with a death wish. It's just like the wizards. Wizards? Don't worry about it. You know how long it's been since I've had a home-cooked meal? And I'm not saying I require or even desire a lovingly crafted culinary masterpiece every time I sit down to eat. That's going a bit far. I know John complains about being plagued by fatherly concern every chance he gets. He is overwhelmed by pastries whenever he ventures from his room. I'm glad my mother doesn't poke her considerable nose into my private affairs, but I'm sick of eating oatmeal. Rose, I told you, don't worry about it. But you will worry about it. You worry about all your friends, all 2 of them. Rose smiles with half her mouth. It seems to be about all she can manage. Lightning crashes. She looks so small and sad against the wall of bottles. You know how to fix this. Thunder rolls and you clench your fist, a friendship clench. You don't know who you are, you don't know why you're here, but you do know that surely you have these powers for a reason. And what better reason than helping a poor young girl with her troubled home life? Rolling up your floppy sleeves, you get to work. What are you doing? You start with the dark liquors first. In your experience, those cause worse hangovers and are more likely to contribute to the absence of hot motherly meals and the overconsumption of oatmeal. You grab 2 bottles of rum and 1 of bourbon, which you tuck in one armpit. Then you zap out of the house and into a clearing into the nearby woods a couple of hours ago. Before it started raining, you drop the bottles and go back for more. Are you just stealing all of my mother's liquor? Is this your solution to her alcoholism? Don't worry, Rose. Rose can thank you later. Flash! You go for the tequila next, then the vodka, then you get sick of this organized approach and just start grabbing whatever the fuck and dumping it in the past. Rose watches you do this for a while, then she hops up on the counter, crossing her legs, and starts texting. Wow, she's really so intent on her conversation that she isn't even noticing you fixing her domestic situation. She keeps giving you little fleeting looks, and you're pretty sure she must be talking about you. You should just let her talk. It isn't right to try and invade your friend's privacy. You attempt to resist the temptation, which you fail at immediately. Not even an overused meme can save you. You zap behind her onto the counter where you could spy on her private correspondence. I don't know anything about them, I'm sorry. Sigh, and here you... And here was me trying to take advantage of your uncanny ability to make guesses verging on prognostication. I'm recently considering a reevaluation on magic. You don't know who this person is. Maybe you should just... You go back in time a couple of minutes to when Rose started her conversation. Your past self is busily zapping back and forth, carrying liquor bottles. You hunker down so you don't see yourself and cause a paradox or whatever the fuck. Physical therapist, TT, began pestering garden gnostics, GG, out of morbid curiosity to shine a light on my future. I'll come with metaphorical hat in hand to ask you to consult your dream clouds. Do you happen to know anything about a strange cardboard cutout creature masquerading as a mailman? Are you sleepy? Sorry, I had to scold back. He's been acting really weird all of a sudden. Anyway, is this the same mailman that John was talking about? The fake one who hung out with him? That's the one. They are currently emptying my mother's liquor cabinet in an attempt to prevent her from overindulging herself. Oh, are they drinking it? No, I think they're just dropping it into the woods with their magic powers. Oh, huh. Do they know that she could just go out and buy more liquor? That's something you could do where you live, right? Yes, well, not exactly where we live. I think the nearest boozery is a good 20-minute drive. I'm not actually entirely sure where my mother got it all. We don't own a car as far as I know. Sometimes it seems like she has the ability to just make things appear. I don't know anything about them, I'm sorry. And here was me trying to take advantage of your uncanny ability to make guesses verging on prognostication. As I am recently considering a reevaluation on magic, I'm still pretty sure magic is fake. At least the kind of magics you're talking about. There's probably some real magic out there somewhere. Yes, for instance, the sort that lets you spy on your hostess' private correspondence while you are stealing her mother's libations. You freeze. With a contrite zap, you reappear in front of Rose. She sets her phone down and props her chin up on a delicate fist. Sorry, you honestly don't know what got into you. You just couldn't resist using your power for evil. Haven't you heard that with great power comes great responsibility? Rose is right. She's totally right. You've only had this power for like a day, so you still aren't used to the idea of being able to just zap all over the narrative. Clearly, you did not appreciate the implications. Zapping all over the narrative sounds potentially stressful. Oh, you bet. You are incredibly stressed right now. Rose laughs. You apologize to her for stealing all her mom's drinks. That was kind of overzealous of you. No, actually, I thought it was hilarious. I have never been one for pranks. That's always fallen more in John's wheelhouse, but there's nothing wrong in occasional stepping outside of one's comfort zone. Let's do the vodka next. The two of you working together gets the place cleared out pretty quick. You zap Rose along with you to the bright clearing in the field, and for a moment she just stands in the sunbeam, blinking up at the cloudless sky. Her expression says she still might not be totally convinced any of this is happening. When all the liquor has been transferred from the bedroom to the woods in a big, glittering dragon's hoard of booze, you and Rose fall down next to it in a messy heap. While you fall into a messy heap, Rose lowers herself daintily, sitting more on her knees than her butt, probably to keep her skirt from getting dirty. You get the idea that even though she lives in the middle of nowhere, she doesn't spend a lot of time outside. You tell her again that you're sorry you spied on her correspondence with her green friend Gigi. Also, you hope she isn't going to get in trouble with her mom. I'm not unduly concerned. I'll tell her where it all is in a couple of days, although by that time I'm sure at least a good third of it will be water damaged. I'm sure this will have a fantastic implication for our relationship and not all exasperate the emotional problems underlining her addiction. You laugh weirdly. Well, now you kind of just feel like an asshole. Rose lies back on the grass and raises a hand to trace the curves of a fluffy white cloud. She closes her eyes. Perhaps it's just projection on my part or wishful thinking, but ever since I met you, I feel like something has changed, or rather something has failed to change, if that makes any sense. It's probably nothing. Her eyes flicker back open, endlessly purple, fixated on the sky like she can see something beyond it, and once again you feel that there's something really crucial that you forgot. But at least you made a new friend, and even if you don't think Rose's brand would ever allow her to call you as such, you're lying in a sunny clearing next to a pile of alcohol, and honestly, it doesn't get much friendlier than that. Victory! No. Man, you guess today is the day you get owned by teens. She's totally right, and you're doing just... What are you doing just wandering up to her house without even calling first? It's totally disrespectful of her time. No need to self-flagellate. It was a simple suggestion to more critically examine your motivations and actions in the future. No, she's right. You're going. You zap away, aiming for a spot half a mile away into the woods where you could probably become properly soaked and miserable. But instead of trees, you find yourself standing in front of a bank of computers. Shit, you misfired. Wait, you remember seeing a big structure off in the distance when you were in front of Rose's house. You figured it was just some sort of office building. But this looks more like a factory or a secret research lab. The computers show coordinates on a screen that doesn't mean anything to you. A countdown clock is frozen on 4:13. All of this has the trappings of a table AU someone set up for you to see. Turning away from the screens, you wander down a long line of gleaming science fiction equipment. It reminds you of pictures of old computers from the 1950s, the ones that took up entire rooms. You bet you could go back and visit some of those if you zapped hard enough. You wander through a whole maze of halls and wide echoing rooms that aren't pictured because our art budget is only so big, but take it as a certainty that they're all very mysterious. Eventually, you circle back to the strange bank of screens. Nervously, you hit a few keys, tap a few fingers against the readouts. Nothing. It's all locked down. You think that if you could only get the screens to unlock, you could unravel the secrets of life, the universe, and everything. Or maybe it's your memories you were trying to unlock. Maybe then you'll understand the seething waters of this endless ocean of time and space intertwining in the meow. Meow? Meow. You turn around expecting a cat, but you do get a cat, a very adorable black kitten, tiny and soft with far more eyes than a cat should have. Aww. But the cat isn't the only thing here. A woman in a sleek white lab coat and sensible heels holds the cat, pinning you to the spot with her gaze, or at least you assume she is. Her hair is in her eyes and the light is behind her, so all you can see of her face are her painted lips. Sorry ma'am, you absolutely didn't mean to trespass in her secret science lab, and you actually aren't even lying. You really did just fuck up this time. The lady puts the cat down slowly, where it rolls on its back and bats a paw playfully in the air. Oh, cats are great. Even mutant cats. Maybe especially mutant cats. This little guy should have a name. You think you like Cryptid McWhiskers? Yeah, Cryptid McWhiskers is a great name. In fact, you can't imagine anyone ever naming this cat anything else. You hold out a hand to Cryptid McWhiskers and wriggle your fingers. It rolls onto its back with its feet and saunters over to you. It is as soft and fluffy as it looks, and its 4 eyes blinking up at you with utter trust. At least this kitty will be your friend. The ominous clack of heels on cement reminds you that you and Cryptid McWhiskers are not alone. While you were busy with the kitty cat, the very intimidating and well-coiffed lady has walked over to the bank of screens. She presses a button and it seems... She presses a button and it must have some sort of fingerprint recognition or retinal scanning, or maybe she's just better at things than you are because it works for her. On the floor a few feet from you is a round gray protrusion, a platform on the floor. You saw it earlier, but you had no idea what it was for, so you just ignored it, and you don't what you don't understand can't hurt you, right? And you think that's probably right. The intimidating lady presses a button on the screen, mouth turning up at the corners. It's a pumpkin! A flash and a pop, the pressure in the room changes. You feel it in your eardrums. A pumpkin appears on the round gray platform. Fuck! You weren't really sure what she was trying to say here. Making a pumpkin appear out of thin air is impressive, but it probably would have been more so if you had been popping in and out of existence all day. It's gonna take more than a pumpkin to impress you. Pumpkin. What pumpkin? The lady shakes her head and hits another button. The pumpkin vanishes and in its place is a tiger. You heard that right, a whole ass tiger, orange and black, big teeth and big paws. For a second, the two of you just look at each other. Honestly, the tiger might be more shocked than you are. Kinda sucks to think about it. 1 second you're just chilling on the savannah mauling antelopes and drinking at the watering hole, and the next you're in the secret lab in upstate New York, staring down a very unappetizing looking protagonist. Apparently you are appetizing enough for it to want to get a taste, though, because it looks from you to Cryptid McWhiskers and back again, then it charges. You try to book it out of there. The lady in the lab coat looms up in front of you. She's saying something. You strain to hear her. The tiger is right behind you. The lady or the tiger? At the last minute, you remember you have magic powers and you choose the third option, teleporting the fuck out of there. Oh no, not again. You just stepped into another yet unknown building, although from the view out the window you think you might be in Rose's house. Also, the fact that Rose turns the corner in the hallway and stops short, still in her rain gear. Her eyes are very wide. You wave awkwardly. That snaps her out of it. She stands up straight, sliding easily from shock to superiority. So you thought you'd just let yourself in? After wasting my time about mumbling about the mail, a gaudy display of manipulative self-recrimination, and then popping out of existence to leave me asking myself if I finally lost my mind. You hadn't meant to do any of that, especially not the last part. She isn't losing her mind unless both of you are losing your minds together. Rose looks you over. Finally, she seems to decide that you are for real. Your predilections toward mailman mimicry weren't all that John told me about. Oh. He also said you had certain powers of teleportation and time travel. I told him that he must be mistaken since it's a well-known and accepted fact that magic, although a popular and highly engaging subject of fiction, is fake as hell. Oh, your zappy powers. No, those are totally real and not fake. Real in a different way than you being a mailman is real, since that is actually made up. And she's still got her umbrella open. Hey, doesn't she know that's bad luck? Luck is also fake as hell. You say you can do magic. Prove it. But she just saw you vanish out in her front yard. Like I said, I could be losing my mind. She could be losing it now at this very minute, but you see no point in arguing. You hold out a hand, and after a moment of hesitation, Rose puts her fingers in yours. Her nails are long and sharp and painted a glossy black. She closes her eyes and her umbrella droops. Should I picture my room or something similar? I'm not quite sure how this is supposed to work. She still thinks you're fucking with her. You tell her that you guess she could do that if she wants. Okay. Oh. She drops her umbrella. You really did that. Her boots track muddy prints into the thick white carpet. Surprise, you really are magic. Rose, okay, we've read this. Stay put. Your patient pays off for almost at once. Rose is back and looking significantly more put together. Also, she brought you a towel. Here. I'm not overly attached to anything in here. It's just mostly childish nonsense I haven't yet bothered to rid myself of, but I appreciate it if you tried not to drip on any of the notebooks. She has changed out of her raincoat and boots, and she's dressed in a neat black skirt and white shirt with a purple blob thing with tentacles. What is it with these kids in their blob shirts? Now that that's dealt with, please sit down. She crosses her legs. You suddenly feel like you're at a job interview, friend interview. You wish you were a little less damp. Actually, let's switch places. You're still pretty wet. You don't want to get her bedspread messed up, but don't worry about it. That's what washing machines are for. Now let's talk about magic, which up until now I have always taken for granted as being something confined to storybooks. Rose takes a wistful look toward her bedroom, grayed over and blurry with raindrops. You get the feeling she is doing it for effect. Maybe that's why she wanted you to switch places with her. And then comes you, the not a mailman with a penchant for showing up and attempting to make friends with unwitting children. Well, fair enough, she's got you there, but honestly, she could be a child, but she really doesn't seem to be unwitting. On contrary, she seems quite witty. I'm glad you noticed. She folds her hands and clears her throat. You think that if she hasn't had any notes, you would be shuffling them. And so the question remains, are you a good witch or a bad witch? Or are you a wizard? You've already established that you're not a public servant. Is there a difference between a witch and a wizard? Of course there is, but exactly how specific of a difference can vary. According to some works of fiction, a wizard is just a witch's male counterpart. But in certain mythologies, for instance, Arthurian legend, the difference appears to be class-based. Wizards reside at court and are classically trained, while witches are self-taught and run wild through the forest. I won't deny that those differences tend to often be gendered as well. You ask her which one she is, a witch or a wizard. Me? Rose shifts, uncrossing and recrossing her legs. You shrug and say she just seems to know a lot about them. I know a thing or two, but can I tell you a secret? Oh my god, Rose! She has no idea how much you would love to hear her secret. I find them, wizards utterly reprehensible. They disgust me, everything from their foppish robes to their grizzled beards. It's my mother who is the wizard enthusiast in this house. Although, she glances from side to side theoretically, most of the things Rose does seems to be at least a little bit theatrical. She kneels on the carpet beside the clutter of books. I don't show these to many people. Actually, I haven't showed them to anyone. Not even John. John seemed to be a pretty cool guy. Definitely a guy worth sharing a few secret notebooks with. Rose laughs. No, I haven't shown them to John, and I've only shown Strider to punish him. You nod, pretending that you know who this Strider person is. You're a totally normal dude with an absolutely ungodly number of friends. A shadow moves through the center of you, a trembling moment of deja vu. You have have a lot of friends, don't you? That feels true, but the only people you know here are John and now Rose. Weird. You try to put it from your mind and listen to Rose again. She is still talking about the mysterious Strider, flipping through one of the journals too quickly for you to see anything specific, only that it is full from cover to cover. As if my modest writings are the sole source of homoerotic tension in his life, when his brother is the one who insists on filling their home with a sordid dick butt for ironic purposes. Rose rolls her eyes. Oh boy, you missed the beginning of that. It probably made way more sense than it seemed like. Rose is searching through her notebooks, checking markings on the spine that seemed to be some sort of cataloging system of arcane symbols. Where is it? Oh, right. She does something quick and complex with her fingers, and another notebook pops into existence and falls into her lap. You gape. She really is a wizard. What? It's just a Silodex. A child could use one here. This notebook has a couple drawings in it, but most of it is filled with small, neat handwriting in lavender ink. Is Rose writing a book? No, don't be silly. I'm writing 4 books at least. 5, depending on whether I decide to flesh out Calamus's backstory. And it isn't strictly necessary, but it does add a certain amount of valuable character insight, which renders their actions in later volumes more sympathetic. Not that I need all of my anti-heroes to be sympathetic, I'm just thinking of what the literary reviewers would say. You're not smart. You would never have thought of what the literary reviewers would say. She is honestly pretty impressive for someone her age. Age has nothing to do with it, but don't get carried away. It's only a rough draft. You ask her if you could take a look. She hesitates, but you doubt she would have shown it to you if she didn't want you to look. What the hell? If you can't trust a strange spherical imprint you met outside in the rain, who can you trust? Right, your thoughts exactly. Rose hands you the notebook and you open it at random, letting fate guide your hands. Frigglish bothered his beard as if unkinking a hitch in a long silk windsock. A more pedestrian audience would praise the exhibit as nervous compulsion, behavior to petition contempt among the reasonable. He was, however, not surrounded by the reasonable but the wise, a distinction in men that would forever be the difference in history garbled of treasured follies. As a matter of fact, his cadre of fellow wizards were all putting similar moves on their beards as well. The practice would even envious thoughtfulness, sagacity, even if that didn't do it all the time, standing in line at the bank, shooing squirrels from bird feeders. Few occasions were safe. Zazarpan inspected the clue, a single piece of evidence cradled in his voracious old man palms. It was a human bone, not striking in the tale it told alone, so much as that told by the thousands, like it festooning the marshy soil of the massive grave. The grisly expanse bore the texture of a decadent dessert, like the one of Marnie's formidable custards. Trifles wobbled out on wheels for the holidays, to the dismay of a small nation. You are certain of this, asked Frigglish. Despite what he was doing with his beard, he was in fact immersed in meaningful contemplation. I'm afraid I am becoming more so with each terrible tick engrossed by the gaudy timepiece slung around your neck. In case it wasn't clear, Friglish wore a clock Zazerpan didn't care for. It was magic. The massacre of Sarsgenflif was not as written. Wow, this is pretty dense but smart. You stroke your own imaginary beard and pretend to ponder the deeper meaning. Yes, intriguing. Zazerpan and Friglish. Clearly there is some history there. Yes, clearly, but what the two of them shared went simply beyond romance. That's why it has gone so spectacularly sour. Rose becomes increasingly more animated as she tells you about her gay wizard OCs. Like she is far more interested in them than she is in herself. They share an intellectual bond, a mutual dedication to knowledge and the preservation of such. The goal of the learned is to amass their wisdom and keep it from general decimation and to the main populace of wizards. They feed it to their apprentices in drips and drabs. Of course, this will eventually lead to ruin. Of course, you flip further in the book, searching for the part where it leads to ruin. Ruin sounds interesting. His apprentice eyes were hidden behind dark glasses, but Zazerpan knew that if he could see them, they would be riddled with the madness of the void. Calamitous wasn't here for justice or for revenge. They were there were here exclusively because Zazerpan had something they wanted. Seemingly, they were owed. Oh, God. Water break. You flip through the notebook, checking out the drawings. There are lots of wizards. Some are more bearded and venerable than the last. One of the pictures, the most recent, maybe since it was the very last page of the journal, is of two young wizard twins, maybe. They have gray hair and are wearing slick-back green suits and are standing back to back with their arms entwined, staring into the middle distance. It's very anime. You compliment Rose on her artistic prowess. Yes, thank you. They're all right. I'm a much better writer than I am an artist. You tell her you think she's really good, way better than you. You're absolutely positive she's going to be famous one day. I appreciate the encouragement, even though I know you're just trying to flatter me due to your strange thirst for affirmative experience. John told me all about that. Damn, busted. You really do think she is talented. It's fine. It's not as if my social calendar is over full out here in the middle of the woods. Don't tell anyone I said that I don't have many friends. And don't tell them I've been drawing. He'd be insufferable. Never mind. You assured Rose that her secrets are safe and hand her back her journal. You are really excited about your new friends. If you might be so bold in her wizard stories, although wait. Hadn't she said that she hated wizards? What's your point? Well, you're no expert on wizards or on Rose, but it seems like she actually does seem to like them because she has several notebooks full of wizard fiction. You aren't trying to get, real here, but maybe it's possible her mom isn't the only one in the family who likes wizards. Rose pulls her book out of your hands. That and the rest of the books vanish into thin air. Oh, right, that must have been what has she called it? Silodex? She doesn't look angry exactly, but the lines around her mouth and eyes are as softened as she talked about her book have hardened back up. Her eyes glitter menacingly. Oh, is that right, Shrewd? Well, why don't you diagnose me? Oh, hey, wow. You weren't trying to be condescending or whatever. Clearly. Were you aware that it is a common psychological phenomenon for an individual to react to trauma by creating fictional representations of that which has caused them bodily harm and our emotional dismay. To suggest that the portrayal of those fictional renderings somehow condones them or supports them is absolutely absurd. So, what she's saying is that she draws wizards to cope? Rose rises regally to her feet. The lightning turns her into an ethereal silhouette. What I'm saying is that I don't need to justify my fictional predilections to you or to anyone else. No, she's totally right. You're sorry that you suggested she might like wizards. It was horribly presumptuous and not at all the way a friend should act. You're so sorry. You promise it will never happen again. No, I don't suppose it will. It's probably just because Rose's hair is such a pale blonde, it almost looks like she's glowing in the dim bedroom. Like light behaves a little differently around her than it does on everything else. Oh, would you look at that? It appears the rain has lightened up a bit. The rain is hitting the window so loud you're actually having trouble hearing her. And your point is, you could just zap yourself out to where the weather is drier. Fuck off. Go zap yourself! Alrighty, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream here. Hopefully I could do a stream later tomorrow. And I'll do some more Pesterquest. I want to read Dave. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you guys have a nice evening.